Hello and welcome back everyone to the next episode on SAP Build Process Automation training. In our last episode, we talked about the concept of automating the MS Outlook using Outlook SDK with SAP Build Process Automation. In our today's session, we are going to proceed further and learn about automating our Fiori applications. Often, we have a lot of Fiori applications in SAP system and we would like to leverage the data of a Fiori application and maintain this data, taking this data out, and then probably maintain this data in an Excel file or to a Word file. So that is a lot of manual intervention work. Now we would like to go back and utilize the Fiori automation capability with Build Work Zone to automate the same. So, what we are going to see in today's class, we will begin with introduction to why do we need to automate a Fiori application? What is the concept of DOM or in short document object model? Our sales order application, Fiori application scenario, we will understand and then we will use a screen capture tool to capture these screen elements with SAP Build Process Automation screen capture tool. And then we will traverse through the DOM elements and extract the UI elements to create our process elements. And then finally, we will loop at repeated DOM elements, for example, a table data, and extract all this information and keep it in a Excel file. So let's get started. Why we need UI automation? Not just Fiori UI alone, but any kind of UI automation. Why do we need it? So Fiori UI automation or a UI automation is typically used for data extraction. In it is useful when user do not have any technical knowledge of API or user want to make sure that the screen of an applications are stable. Now, this could be also a testing use case as well, where you would like to check if in my current release, this element is present on the screen. And in the subsequent release, the element is also there as well after my system is upgraded. But typically, it also help us to automate the manual work which a user do from their eyes on a Fiori application. Then the UI automation also helps us to offer a consistent user experience release on release. Here are some of the key benefits of UI automation. So first is extracting the data from dynamic web pages. So often the websites load data dynamically using JavaScript. It makes it difficult to extract this data from scrapping techniques like when you're scanning the network calls which are going from an app or some technical ability to extract data. It won't help because there are a lot of calls happening on a UI. The best way to extract data from an application is directly looking at the screen and doing it from screen. UI automation can also interact with the UI pages where it can do scroll, click, and extract the data real time. That gives us a guarantee that our application is stable. Then automating repetitive task, repetitive manual work. If user frequently copy paste the data from applications UI, automation can speed up the process and reduce the human effort. So with the help of automation, a we will have a reduced human effort. Then interacting with the GUI based application. So some applications do not expose data via API, but also display it in the table and report. So that's where we can use the GUI based application. Even SAP GUI comes under the same category, which I will show you in upcoming classes. So we would don't want to directly technically interact with UI, especially as we are a citizen developer. We don't have technical ability. We would like to look at the screen, take the data from a screen and copy paste the data somewhere, maybe in an Excel file or somewhere, right? So UI automation tool, there are so many of them, like scripting tools are there, Selenium is there, RPA tools are there to extract the data. So in the continuation of same, the SAP build process automation helps us to also get the data from screens like from Fiori UI. It also ensures useful for ensuring data consistency. For example, you would like to extract data from a screen for a customer order where you check the customer number. Now the same customer number you would like to check back in the database table, and you want to match if what data is displayed on the UI is there in the database table or not. So that will help you to actually match the data to ensure that data consistency is there. So this is what UI automation will help us to achieve. So now in the process of automating any web application, because Fiori applications are also called web applications, they run on the web browser or in mobile phone. So here we have concept of DOM, or so-called document object model. DOM or document object model. So it is basically the structure of the web page representing the HTML content and allows our script to dynamically access, modify, and manipulate the data on the web page. So what is DOM? It is the structure of the page. Any page what you see like facebook.com, twitter.com, that is a web page. So behind this scene of the web page is there a DOM, which is the HTML structure of a web page. Now, without knowing the DOM, it is impossible to automate any web application. So there are three important characteristics of a DOM. It is a tree data structure. So in college days, we study data structures like linked list, queue, stacks, right? So DOM is a tree data structure. DOM represents the web pages as a tree like a structure where elements are nodes, and also we have something called a root node called HTML node, and it has two main child node, head and body. So if you go to any web page, you always can find the DOM by pressing F12 key. Let me show you that. So as part of our process today, we will be using a standard application given by SAP for sales order. Yes, so let me open that application for all of you. This is how the application look like to the user, but technically behind the scene there is a tree data structure which is called as DOM. So I press F12 key, and then you can see we have console elements. In the elements here you can see this is the DOM. In the DOM now you see the body, and in the body you see all the elements. So what users see on the screen is actually coming from this tree. So you can click this button here and highlight any element. So you can see this is that span element which is showing this data ship EX. That's the name of the customer, and same data is displayed on the UI. So if I change the DOM here temporarily like Anubhav trainings, then you see the value also changed on the screen. So DOM is basically the representation of this entire page. So for everything there is an element. So if I just look at table, yeah, so we have something called table row, TR element. You see TR, table row. Under the table row we have TD, table data. You see table data is there. So this is how the DOM is built. So since we have a table row, you see when I'm clicking here it's highlighting the entire row. Under that we have cell. This is my first cell of the table. This is my second cell, my third cell, my fourth cell. These are my cells of the table. So these are my columns in the first row. So likewise we have multiple rows, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. These are my multiple rows inside the table, and this whole thing is in the table body, table header, and the whole table. So this is called DOM. Yes, so a DOM represents the structure or the skeleton of your web page. You can go to any website, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Blogger, Anubhav Trainings. Let me go to anubhavtrainings.com. That's our official website. So here when you come, you can see this live mode, video mode, all these are my DOM. So if I right click, inspect, you will see I come back, and here you can see I click, you see this is also a DOM element. Yeah, you see DOM element. So you can change this in your you can change the DOM, it will reflect. So let's say nothing, enter, you see nothing, it changed. Yeah, so of course it changed only in my computer because this DOM was downloaded in my browser. If I do refresh again, it will re-download the DOM from my server, and then the content comes back. So the DOM is basically local. to your computer once it is downloaded, once you access any website. So that is the DOM. So it's a tree data structure. It has hierarchy of nodes. Of course, it's a tree, so it has hierarchy where you have different elements like div, anchor, paragraph, yeah, links, images. Yes, all these different elements are there. You can have parent child and sibling relationships between these elements as it's a tree data structure. Now, DOM also help us to manipulate the data dynamically. You just saw I changed the DOM and it was reflecting the change on the screen. So this is the purpose of the DOM. Now, why the DOM is important from our point of view when we want to, as a citizen developer, we want to automate. So how does it help? So DOM will help us to automate UI, because when we use any tool to actually automate that screen, the usually the automation tools, they will capture the DOM, and when they capture the DOM, you will get to know all the information of that entire thing. Yeah, you will get to know entire web page information. All the elements will get captured. So then you can define an automation using that, because now you know the skeleton. So later point of time, when you captured all the information, later point of time you can replay the same. Then it is also essential for dynamic web development. It also powers the browser based automation and scraping. Scraping means extracting the data from screens. Like, let's say if there is a screen which has 10,000 email id, if I start manually copying every email id, it takes hours and hours of effort. So what I can do, I can use some web scraping tool. Yes, like even build can be used for that purpose. We'll see an example today. So that can go read the screen automatically in an automated way and extract all the information for us. That is what DOM actually does for us. Now, so let's understand our scenario for sales order application UI automation. So meet Neha. Neha is working as a sales representative in the sales department of our company. She would like to prepare an Excel file of all the sales data present in a Fiori application. So there is a Fiori application in our company for sales orders, which shows all the sales orders. So Neha's job is to go to that application and read all the data from that application for a sales order and extract that information in a Excel file. So the sales order Fiori app contains header data and item data of the order along with the customer data. So I showed you the application already, right? So here is the header data. Yes. And then we have item data for the sales order. This is what the application contains. So she opened the application, manually copy this data and put data line by line in a Excel template, yeah, which I will show you now. And once done, she store that Excel in her computer for future reference. This is a error prone because she is copying pasting. Sometimes it's a human work, so it is error prone. It could happen that she is not in a good mood someday, and then we have an error in the copy paste process. And it's a laborious task. It's a very tough task. It's a laborious task. So what we want to do, we want to use SAP Build to help her automating this. So here is the application link. When you guys are practicing, you can check my PPT where I have the link which you can use. So we will help her. So basically what she does, she has to, this is the template I will share in the material. Yes. So here you see, she has to enter all the data. So she has to copy this order number manually. Yeah. And she has to maintain that order number here. Yeah. Then she has to copy this customer detail. Yeah. So customer name, and she has to paste it. Then she has to manually copy the order status. Yeah, manually, and she has to maintain all this data here. You see, 1, 2, 3, name of the customer, street, zip code, country, region, all that she has to copy manually and maintain manually in this file. This is a laborious process. This is a error prone process. So to get rid of this problem, what do? We are going to go back and we are going to utilize the concept of SAP Build Process Automation to do this job. So this is my Excel template. I will be sharing Anubhav order template with all of you as part of material, and of course this PPT with the link. So now is the time that we go back to the application, to the build process automation and automate this process for Neha. So let me go back to SAP Build now. Now, in order to automate, you have to keep this screen open in the maximized mode. Yeah, please keep this screen open here. That is mandatory to automate, to build the automate at design time. And then later on at runtime also, this should be kept open. So now we come back here and we are going to click on create a build process automation, task automation, and I will say automate Fiori UI, automate standard sales order Fiori app using build. Click on create. Now, the very first thing what we will do, we will import our Excel template over here. So whatever Excel template I have showed you, that we are going to import, because that's where we are going to capture all the data. So that is the template I will share in the study material with all of you. You have to import that in your automation. Okay, now we will choose our RPA agent, which is local and registered as always. This is mandatory. Give the name of our first automation, extract order data. Click create. And now you can see it opens the studio. I go to overview and also import here our file, our Excel template in which we need to upload all the information. So I browse in my computer and I will import all the Excel templates. So I go to my temp folder where I have this. This I will share with you in the material, and I will import that file now. So this is the template for order data. Import and just check this checkbox. This is very important step. File is active. Click on save. However, at the end of the training session, I will also share the entire project as usual as part of material. You can directly import the project that will automatically have this Excel as well. Okay, done. Now we build the automation. So to build the automation, we first have to capture our screen. Like the automation need to know what are the DOM elements present on your screen and where are they present, what are their IDs and identifications, so that it can extract the data. So I go back to overview, I click on create button, and I will now add our application. So you see create an application here, create an application capture. So capture or sales order manage screen, that's a screen capture. And now it is looking all my sessions which are open. So it is scanning all my browser sessions. So using this technique, you can capture any web application, any web application, be it UI5, be it Fiori, be it SuccessFactor, be it Ariba, Concur, S4 HANA, any application, any web application, you can capture with this technique. Yeah, that is what you can do. So it is scanning now our browser windows which are open, and you can already see my this browser window is already open. Yeah, the browse order application, it is already open. So it is it will show me all those applications which it can capture. So I will be able to capture the same. Yeah, that is what we can do actually. Now, right now, it is not able to find. What could be the reason? The reason could be that we have forgotten to add the SAP UI5 dependency to our project. So let's close this, come back to settings, come back to dependencies, and we're going to add a SDK here. So add business project dependency and search here UI5, SAP UI5 SDK. This is mandatory. You must add this. So this is the reason I was not able to see the screen capture. Yeah. So now I've added that SDK for UI5 SDK. So it can recognize and detect all the UI5 components on my web page. We click on create an application now, and I can say browse orders, screen capture or UI5 application capture. Click on create button and let's see now. So now you see it has loaded. So I just collapse and you see here web and you see browse order application. So I select that and now it's going to load the application on the right side. Is this the screen you want to capture? Now guys, be careful when you are testing the application. Don't keep this screen collapsed mode. Yeah, keep this screen in expanded mode, means the right side screen should also be visible so you can capture line item data. Yeah, that's very important. So that is what we will be using. So this is what I want. Good. So I can select and click on next. You can also use capturing tool where you can manually drag and drop a cursor to the screen which you want to capture. But I think this is suffice enough to get started. We select this and click next button. And I can say manual capture. I don't want to go recorder. Recorder means I want to capture all the multiple screens, like navigate to multiple screens and capture all the screens together. But since I have just one screen where I have all my information I need, I will go with manual capture. What is the technology? It's web. Okay, it's detecting manual capture. Click on capture button and you see it is capturing now my application. So I control and click. So you have to control and click on that screen. Now it is downloading entire DOM. It is capturing the DOM of that application. Yeah. So you can see dependency also loaded, updating application, and in few seconds you will see one screen capture. So if you have 5 screens, you have to do repeat this step for all the 5 screens. So it has captured now browse order. Now I'm happy, so I can click on uh, yes, I can just go ahead. I can, if I want to capture more screens, I can say capture another screen. But if I'm happy, then we are good to go. Yes, we are good to go. So we can say go to application. And you see it is done. So the screen capture was completed, and now here is where you will define what are all the data you want to extract from this application by creating elements. So you see declared elements is nothing right now. So one by one we will tell computer that, hey computer, when this screen open at runtime, what are all the information I would need from you. So to be able to do the honor, you click the element which you want to capture. Yes, and you can say both. Both means screen only, both only, or tree only. So you can say both, and now you can highlight the element. You see it's highlighting the element. So you can expand the element. This is the DOM, and from the DOM I am only interested to capture just the order number. So you see I'm just coming here, I'm selecting, it's highlighting the block. Yeah, you see it's highlighting the block. So this is the order number I want to capture. Yeah, so I will go to that element in the DOM. Yeah, it is little technical here. You need to understand the concept of DOM. So let us go and define this element. Now on the right side, you see how effectively the automation would be able to detect this element at runtime. So right now we are designing. So we are at design time, but at the time of executing, can the automation, can the tool detect this element correctly or not in the future? So it is saying that with the identifier it has found, it will not be possible to accurately detect this element because it is using the text property. So I cancel this and I will use this ID property. So you see it has captured all the property from the DOM. So I will click on plus button to say that please locate this element with its ID. Often the IDs are stable through. So throughout, whenever in the future the application opens to test it, that time ID will be stable. So system will be able to accurately extract our order details. So we always use ID based automation. Now if ID change, you have to relook at your automation might fail. So you have to adapt your automation in the future again if your ID changes. So that is one thing you need to keep it in mind. Now we will put here order number. Click on declare element. Very good. Next, what I want to extract this customer data. So let's come down, see which element. So you see this is the DOM, and here is an element which is giving this customer. information. So I will also go cancel this, add the ID here, and I say customer name, declare the element. Let's get the shipping date and the status. So the status field is here, this one. So let's check the DOM. It's nice that we are able to explore and extract this data. So I can say order status. Good. What else we need? Let's see our Excel template. So order number, customer name, status, three things. Perfect. Then we need name, street, zip code, country, and region. So we can head over back and we can then add here name, street, zip code, region, and country. So we need all that. So I select, it is perfectly detected at the element. So we will remove here the text and add the ID and then say this is the customer address. So ship name, yeah, declare. Then next is the street and remove this text at the ID always, declare the element for street, zip code, remove, add the ID again, declare the element. So one by one, each and every element we are choosing like this and we are keep adding them. So they can be added to our Excel file. I will choose then the region, remove here, add the ID, add the region, declare element, select country, remove the text, add the ID. Perfect. Save so far whatever work you have done. So all this information we captured. Yes. So let me review my entire automation for you. So what we have done here, we are first launching the Fiori application, extracting the header and the shipping data from the order screen. So we are extracting this order number, date, this customer name, and on right side the shipping details. Yeah. Then we are creating an Excel instance and setting up all the data to my header area of this Excel. So in the header area of this Excel, here and here, all these details I'm setting up. Once this is done, then we are extracting the row data. So in the Fiori application, we have multiple line item rows. We are going to loop at each of the row, and corresponding to each row, we are extracting the cells data here. And so we have a loop for row and loop for cells. And then we are filling each cell one by one. Yeah, filling each cell one by one in the Excel file. Let us go ahead and test our automation now fully in the system. I just saved it and I run it, and we should be getting an Excel for our consultant. Our sales representative will get an Excel with all the data. So it's running up now, and there you go, there you go. It has filled, and it's the time to fill the table cells as well. If there is a bug, if there's an issue, the automation will stop and it will give me an error. Yeah, it has stopped at debugger actually because we were debugging. I will just continue now, and wahala, there you go. It's filling correctly my Excel. Let it fill and save. I will show you the final output and compare it with the screen. So it created my order data Excel as part of the automation, and I should be now able to see all the data. There you go. It has filled all the data. Let's compare it with my order application. Yes. So you can see hot spite, this one, first product, then Tunbot, you see Tunbot, then you see Monolith, yes, then you see Pirat and Fibeli. What are these products? I think some different language. And you see amount and price and quantity and total. Superb, fabulous. So the extraction of data from Fiori application become superbly easy and automated and brings down the manual effort for our sales consultant. Fabulous. With that, thank you so much for joining today's episode. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, happy automating and